Hey everybody, my name is Joshua Fequiere, and I want to welcome you back to Time Out. Now, the purpose for Time Out is just to simply acknowledge you and your pursuit. You see, we're all chasing after something. There's some goal, some dream, some accomplishment that we all want to achieve one day soon. And we know that the journey sometimes can be disheartening or discouraging with all the unexpected twists and turns and unforeseen setbacks. But my goal is that when you join me each week in our Time Outs together, that I'm helping to provide content to be a source of empowerment, enrichment, and encouragement for you. And so with that said, this is me, Josh Fequiere, coming to you today with a very important announcement. And the announcement is this: don't forget to get dressed today. Now, no, I didn't lose my mind. I know we've been in quarantine for quite some time, but what I'm really trying to get to you is this. You see, just as much time and attention that we put into making sure we are presentable every day physically, it's the same time and attention that we need to do to prepare ourselves mentally for each day. Just as we're taking off old clothes to put on new clothes, just like we're taking off dirty clothes to put on clean clothes, each day we need to analyze our thoughts, to take off the thoughts that's only going to hold us back so that we can put on thoughts that's going to get us to where we need to go. You see, it doesn't make sense to impress people temporarily with our outward collections when it's only how we dress ourselves mentally that leaves a lasting impression. And so, don't forget to get dressed. My point is this: just the other day, I was at the gym before everything shut down, and I was, just in the mode where I was probably the most consistent that I was. It hurt me when the gym closed, so I'm trying to do whatever I can at home to make sure I can maintain my regimen. But it was the most consistent that I was for a long time. And the thing about going to the gym quite often is that you start seeing familiar faces, other people who goes to the gym as well. And so one day I was at the gym and I saw this one guy that I probably have not seen before in my life. And it was just him and I. It was around lunchtime, we were in the gym, and we were both getting dressed in the locker room, getting ready to go get a workout in. And as I'm standing there getting dressed, in my mind I just kept hearing, why don't you greet the guy? Just say hello to him. I mean, it's you're two human beings in the locker room. He deserves to be acknowledged. Why don't you just say something? And what's happening there is because I promised myself when I'm getting dressed that I'm going to try to be a little bit more personable, more approachable, and just more kind and outgoing. That's how you build effective relationships. Now, I'm not saying I'm a mean person right now. I think I'm a nice guy already. But the goal is to make sure I'm a better version of me today than I was yesterday. So there's always room for improvement. And so finally I said, you know what? I'm not gonna let this hold me back. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, how you doing today, man? And he's like, I'm doing good. How about you? I said, I'm doing well. I'm just gonna go, get this quick workout in and then get back to my day. And he's like, you know what? I'm doing the same thing. And I was like, okay, cool, man. So, I hope you have a good workout and a good rest of your day. And he was like, thank you. Same to you. And I went, and as I'm going to go work out, I thought to myself, that wasn't too bad, was it? I was like, you know what? As the saying goes, there's no comfort in the growth zone, and there's no growth in the comfort zone. I had to step out of my comfort zone just to be the best version of me. And so mentally I had to get dressed to just be prepared to be more outgoing and so on and so forth. So I worked out, went and finished the rest of my day. How about the very next day I saw the same guy at a different location? And we recognized each other immediately. And I was like, hey, how you doing? He's like, I'm doing good. And he's like, I have to stop you for a second. I don't meet too many people like you. This is what he's saying to me. And I was like, really? He's like, no, there's something different about you. You just yesterday, you just left a lasting impression on me. And I just couldn't get over it. I'm glad I saw you. I was like, well, thank you so much. And he's like, what do you do for a living? And so we got to talking, and I told him what I do for a living. He's like, okay, that's pretty cool. He said, I'm new to the area. I own mortgage companies, and I'm just opening up different establishments across the coast. I went back and looked him up, and he has one in Miami. He has one in other areas, very wealthy areas in different locations. But this is back to the story. And he's like, in my line of business, there's things that I can teach people, but there's certain things you can't teach somebody, and that's a good attitude. And just the way you approached me yesterday just really left a lasting impression on me. He said, I know you got something you do on a regular basis, but what I want to tell you is that if you ever looking to get into real estate, I really want you to give me a call. And I was like, thank you. We finished our conversation, and I was thinking, I was just telling my wife recently how if I want to expand my streams of income, if there was anything I wanted to tap into, it would be real estate. And it was like, wow, I decided to put on a good personality and it ended up leading me to a door of opportunity. You see, sometimes you can sit there and you can entertain the wrong thoughts, and you can miss out on an opportunity that can change your life. And so, get dressed. I want you to put as much into getting dressed mentally as you do in presenting yourself physically every morning. And so, another story, just really quickly, it was a guy I heard of who this story actually also helped change my life. He worked in waste management, and one day he had a new hire to come and do a ride along with him. And in the new hire came on board, and he greeted him, and they did their route for the day. He showed him the ropes and how to handle himself in a truck, outside of the truck, and so on and so forth. Then he told the young man, listen, at the end of the day, they developed a good rapport. He said, listen, I don't live too far from here, and my family and I, we have dinner every night, and I invite you to come with me. And the young man was like, he took him up on his offer. So when they got to the front door, the guy, the more experienced man, the trainer, he stopped at his front door as they were walking to go inside the house. He looked to the side where he had some shrubbery, and he began to do actions as if he's taking things off. He's taking things off. He's not physically undressing, but he's pretending like he is and hanging it on the bush. The young man looked at him and said, what are you doing? And he told the young man, listen, every day I come home, I do this to remind myself that I need to strip myself of some of the things I've been through today so I don't bring it home to my family. Some of the negative things you've been through, some of the things that people may have said to you or vice versa, all these things that could have happened that he was wearing. What he was doing physically was symbolic of what he was really doing mentally. And he was taking some things off to go into his house to make sure he's bringing home nothing but peace. And to me, that is really revolutionized my thinking, because in his case, he was taking some things off. In my scenario, I was putting some things on. You see, he was taking off the negative, I was putting on the positive. This sounds like getting dressed, right? Taking things off so you could put things on. So my charge to you today is to make sure that you are just as cognizant about each day when you wake up. What are you putting on mentally, just as you are physically? You see, it doesn't make sense that we are upgrading ourselves each day and how we present ourselves, but we are the same person mentally that we were a week ago. Every morning you have an opportunity to get dressed, not just physically, but mentally. I want you to think I hope this helps you in certain ways to understand that you can be your best self and that you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, as long as you're feeding your mind the right thoughts. I thank you for joining me in this time out today, and I pray you have a blessed day.